What's up, everyone? So today we're going to be talking about how to make money when stocks are not trending up. So there's a few specific strategies that me and my team use to make money when stocks are actually trending down or even sideways. So if you haven't seen the market the last few weeks, and depending on when you watch this video, it may be doing something differently, but in the last 2 weeks, we've lost about 20% of the value of the S&P 500. So for a lot of long-term investors, this is bad. They've lost a lot of the money that they've invested for a long period of time. And in a period of about 2 weeks, we lost 20%. So that could be very discouraging. But I assure you, there are ways to make money when the stock market is going down. So if you watch this video, you're gonna get my top 3 strategies for making money when stocks are not going up. So first of all, the most basic form of this is called shorting a stock. So what you do when you short a stock is you borrow it from someone and you sell it to someone else. So you're opening your position, in this case, by selling a stock. So when you borrow something from someone, you owe it back to them. So at the end of this trade, you're going to give those stocks back to the person that you borrowed from and hopefully put a little extra money in your pocket in doing so. So if I borrow some stocks from Cam over here and I borrow 50 shares at $100 a share, that's $5,000 of worth of stocks that I'm borrowing from Cam that I do owe back to him at some point. But I owe the stocks, I don't owe the $5,000. So what I can then go do is sell those $5,000 worth of stocks, right? 50 shares at $100, I can sell those stocks to someone else in the stock market. So if the stocks drop from $100 a share to $96 a share, I can then buy those shares back from anyone in the market to return to Cam at $96 a share. But buying those stocks back doesn't cost me that $5,000 that I got up front. It only costs me $4,800. So I'm only having to pay out $4,800 after having received $5,000. I then take those shares, return them back to Cam, and I get to keep $200 as profit. So that's the basic premise behind short selling. And all stocks aren't available for short sale, right? So you have to be able to actually borrow those stocks from someone else to be able to short sell them out in the market. Otherwise, you'd just be selling something that you don't have, and that's not allowed. The second awesome way to make money when a stock is either trending sideways or downward is to look for opportunities to trade options. So what an option is basically insurance that allows you to buy or sell specific amounts of stock at a specific price on a specific date. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. Basically, you're purchasing a contract, and those contracts have the ability to fluctuate in value just like any other asset or security. So if I buy a $400 call for a stock that's at $300, that contract does not have much value because that means I am buying the right to buy that stock at $400. But if the stock's at $300, then the right to buy that stock at $400 doesn't really make sense, and therefore it's not very valuable. So I could buy that contract at $400 thinking that the price could go to $500, which is a massive jump. And if that does happen, then those contracts would go up in value way more than the $300 to $500 jump that the stock completed. On the reverse side, if I buy a $200 put for a stock that's hanging around $300, that allows me to sell the stock at $200. It only makes sense if the stock drops way all the way down past $200 to say $150 or $100, where that contract would really go up in value. So that's the basic premise behind options, and those are something that you can use to make money whether a stock's going upwards or downwards. You can learn a lot more about this in other videos that I put out. The last way, and this is my favorite strategy in making money when the stock market is down or trending sideways, is to just buy and hold for the long term. But I'm not just dumping massive amounts of cash at stocks at one time. We're actually doing a strategy called cost averaging, which I'll go over in just a minute. But throughout history, some of the best times to buy stocks were when stocks are going down, or when we're in recession, or when there's panic or fear in the market. Like Warren Buffett says, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So when everyone is selling their stocks out of fear, that is the best time throughout history to be picking up those stocks in order to make money in the long run. So like I mentioned before, we're not just dumping massive amounts of cash all at once into these stocks. My strategy is to do something called cost averaging, which Warren Buffett loves to do as well. So this means that we're buying stocks periodically and systematically. So on a red day, maybe we'll put a little bit of money into a stock, right? Maybe thinking that, hey, if the stock goes down further, we're gonna wanna have a little bit more reserve of cash to throw at that stock if we get a better price. And if we don't, so be it. I still got the stock at one of the best prices that it's been. So you can theoretically do this over and over and over and get a cost averaged price, is what it's called. So when the stock continues to go up in its macro trend, we catch catch all of those profits. And since the stock is historically trending up, we know for certain, or at least for 99% sure, that the United States stock market always recovers, especially from recessions, fear, panic, all of that stuff. So it's something that you can be confident in long term. The only problem with this is you need to be comfortable having a considerable amount of cash tied up for a long period of time if you are considering bag holding these. So guys, anyone who tells you that it's impossible to make money on stocks when they're trending sideways or even downwards is wrong, because there are plenty of ways like the ones I just mentioned. Shorting, trading options, and buying and holding for long term are three of my favorite strategies to making money when stocks are going down or when we're in recession. So if we are preparing for a 2020 or 2021 recession, buying and holding for the long term is going to be my favorite strategy, as well as some intermittent options trading and maybe even some shorting. These three strategies combined are a great skill set to have when trading in a recession, because when we get out of the recession, you're going to be much better off than all those people who just waited for their stocks to recover without multiplying their gains, cost averaging, or potentially even trading some options and multiplying their profits while we're in the recession. So there it is, guys, my 3 ways to make money in a downturned economy. It's definitely not impossible. In fact, we're doing it every single day in our team. So if you liked the video, I'd love your thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.